A reading from Luke's Gospel, chapter 23. This is the time when Jesus was hanging on the cross between two thieves. One of the criminals who hung there hurled insults at him. "Aren't you the Messiah? Save yourself and us." But the other criminal rebuked him. "Don't you fear God," he said, "since you are under the same sentence? We are punished justly, for we are getting what our deeds deserve. But this man has done nothing wrong." Then he said, "Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom." Jesus answered him, "Truly I tell you, today you will be with me in paradise." It was now about noon, and darkness came over the whole land until 3 p.m, for the sun stopped shining, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Jesus called out with a loud voice, "Father, into your hands I commit my spirit." When he had said this, he breathed his last. Forgiveness. It can be hard, can't it? C.S. Lewis made this telling remark: "Everyone says forgiveness is a lovely idea until they have something to forgive." When someone has hurt us, wronged us, it hurts. Pain and betrayal are hard to deal with, aren't they? It breaks the relationship. It's like a barrier is erected that's hard to tear down. Forgiveness, though, is the only thing that can tear that barrier down. Forgiveness can bring a sense of freedom and new beginnings for everyone involved. And of course, there's often a price to pay, isn't there? We only have to look at Jesus to see that there's a huge cost to forgiveness: the cross. In recent weeks, we've been following a theme through. We've been thinking about who we are, about the stories of our lives and how they intersect with the wider story of the world. We thought about how there's both good and bad in the world and in each one of us. And we've seen some of the ways the world is broken and needs fixing. I've suggested that Jesus is the only one who can clean up this mess, and that we need God's Spirit. We need His help if we're ever going to flourish and be a part of helping clear up the mess in the world. I also suggested that the work of Jesus' life culminated in his crucifixion and resurrection. And actually that we can understand how significant that is in a whole number of ways. The Bible explores it with various metaphors and ideas saying what the cross was about. But undoubtedly, a central theme is that of forgiveness, the putting right of relationships, the cleaning up of mess. Let's just watch a short video clip from the Start course. The Start course is an introduction to the Christian faith, which some of you may have done in the past. This clip I'm about to show dramatises the crucifixion and explores what it means.
Sometimes the mess that we get ourselves into can't be covered up. It won't go away of its own accord, no matter how much we might want it to. We need to do something to get rid of the stain.
But how does the crucifixion factor into our need to be forgiven? Let's remind ourselves of what happened that day.
I couldn't save him. I was silent.
Lord!
It is finished!
Crucifixion was the Romans' favourite way of getting rid of the very worst criminals. It's extremely painful and also very drawn out. Those crucified would usually suffer in great agony for many hours before finally dying. And as well as the physical pain, there was the mockery. Jesus was stripped, insulted, spat upon, and made to wear a crown of thorns. It was degrading and humiliating. Perhaps most deeply felt was the spiritual pain of separation from God. His cry of, "My God, why have you abandoned me?" shows that Jesus was cut off and completely alone at his most pressing time of need. When Jesus cried out, "It is finished," he wasn't simply giving up his last breath as if it were a cry of defeat. This was a triumphant confirmation that everything that he had come to do was now complete.
As Jesus finally died, the great curtain in the temple was torn in two. That curtain was the great separator. On one side, the holy place, God's special place. On the other side, thousands of messed up people. And the curtain was there to keep the two apart. That curtain was over 30 feet high, and yet was ripped apart from top to bottom. No human being could possibly have torn the curtain like that. Who else could have done it but God himself?
The curtain symbolised the barrier between God and his people. At last the way between God and us was thrown open for everyone. At last it was possible to be made clean again.
So the curtain in the temple, torn in two as forgiveness becomes a reality. The barrier, the thing which got in the way of the relationship between God and us, was removed once and for all. And that rings true, doesn't it? It does work in the real world. Forgiveness does remove barriers. And forgiveness is hard, it has a cost. But it's the only way to restore broken relationships, ultimately the only way to restore a broken, messed up world. So what does the cross mean for you? Here's another very short video clip of some people being asked that very question.
It means that through Jesus we can be forgiven in front of God, and all our sins can be forgiven if we ask.
No matter what I've done wrong ever, I'm forgiven.
Knowing I've been forgiven has given me that freedom really to be myself.
I just find that totally amazing. That relationship that I can have because of that is just amazing.
It's pretty big stuff, isn't it? It's like, it feels very important actually.
When I think of the cross, I think of heaven a lot, really.
Because who else is going to do that for you, so that you can have sort of eternal life?
Freedom, I think, is one word I might use.
It tells me God is love. It's not without hate. He doesn't seek vengeance on us.
Even the thought of it now is overwhelming to the emotions I think that would provoke.
Empowering.
It's empowering, she said. It brings freedom, someone else said. It's true for our relationship with God, and it's true for our relationships with other people. Forgiveness is liberating. It does bring freedom. If we trust in Jesus and what he's done for us on the cross, then a whole new world of possibilities awaits us. A close relationship with God in this life and in the life to come. Freedom to start again. Freedom to go to God and start again every day if we need to. Our past does not have to define our future. So what might be coming in between you and God in your life right now? He promises always to forgive us, but we have to want it, to confess it, and to let it go to him. And at the same time, I wonder if any of us are living in a state of unforgiveness right now. Has someone hurt you? I mean, really hurt you, disappointed you, let you down? Does it feel, when you think about it, like a knot in your stomach sometimes? Has it got you enslaved? Do you need to be set free from what you're holding against someone else? Do you perhaps even need to ask someone else for forgiveness for something you've done or said? You see, what's at stake here is huge. It's our freedom. Freedom to live without fear or recrimination. Freedom to enjoy and flourish in our relationship with God and in our relationships with other people. So what do you need to let go of today? What do you want to offer to God? Where might you need His help to learn to forgive? Let's reflect on these questions and on the incredible love of God that the cross reveals.